In classic Catholic morality, there are 7 deadly sins or vices. So these are anger, laziness, gluttony, lust, greed, envy, and pride. So that pretty much sums it all up. Now, most people find one or two of these vices to be particularly hard and a particular struggle. And it's always good to know what they are for you and for me, because then we're able to better devise a battle plan to avoid these things. But with the exception of Jesus and Mary, pretty much everyone struggles with all of these vices to some degree. And part of the reason is because of original sin. Okay, so original sin makes all of us prone to doing bad things and causes us to exert effort to do good things. But another reason that we all struggle with all of the vices is because they're all related. So for example, when a person sins out of lust, very often it's because the sin of laziness preceded it. And as a result of lusting, a person will very often feel knotted up and kind of guilty inside and then want to take that out on others, thus paving the way for the sin of anger. So that's kind of the nasty web of the vices. They're all related. When a person falls into one vice, very often they fall into another. The good news, however, is that the virtues that oppose the vices are also related. So the virtues are things like patience, chastity, generosity, humility. All of those are related as well. And so when a person decides to work on one of those virtues, the other virtues get elevated as well. So for example, if someone struggles to be chaste, they might want to try working on another virtue, like generosity, which is the giving of oneself out of service. And eventually that person naturally increases in chastity and the other virtues. So this is why in the Bible, both in the Old and in the New Testament, the Bible's big on rule keeping. Like our first reading today from Deuteronomy. Moses is demanding that the people follow the law to a T. It's not to be domineering and it's not to be controlling, but it's so that people would live virtuous lives, because a life of virtue is ultimately a life of freedom. But being generally virtuous, so just virtuous in general, that's hard. There's too many virtues to work on and there's too many vices to bring us down. Fine, pick one. Pick one of the virtues to work on. Make it a goal maybe for the upcoming week or maybe the next month or two. Just work on one virtue. And by God's grace, see if you don't see yourself improving in other virtues in the near future.